I guess this is my chance to say happy Barb Day. I'm gonna be.
Oh, thank you. What did you get me?
My presents is my present, and you got to crash at my house for a night. So that's
Yes. I did crash at your house recently when I visited LA, and you gave me a very inadequately sized twin bed.
It was so small for you. I didn't even consider. I was like, he'll be fine. You didn't fit in any way.
No, I might as well have been an orphan child hanging out of the drawer of like a bookshelf or something like that. Like it was, my feet were hanging over the foot of the bed.
But you know what? That's LA for you. You know?
How is that LA for me?
The beds are smaller. The beds are like, this is the ideal size for a person. And if you don't fit it, then don't sleep.
Oh, you're saying that the beds are meant to body shame me.
Yeah, it's a body shame of your height, though.
They don't talk enough about that body shame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tall men have it so hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel for someone who is shorter that can't sit comfortably on a high top chair at like a bar or something. Because it's nothing is more humiliating than like my feet can't touch. And like you end up having to like wiggle around.
I don't know. I think there's some things that are a bit more humiliating than that.
No, nothing is more
Nothing
humiliating.
is more humiliating.
I thought through every contingency.
Kris and Joanna are close friends with nothing in common. To start a weekly conversation, they ask, "Can I have a word?"
Can you tell we're exhausted? We are, what is it? Grabbing at straws?
Grasping at straws.
Grasping at straws.
We're not doing so
my
hot
idioms
today.
aren't even. No, we're really not. You know what, Kris? Can I have a fucking word?
Wow, already? You can have a word as soon as I let this fucking cat out of this room. Hold on. No,
How many things are in your life? You have
It's
a baby, a dog, a cat. What else? A ghost? What's gonna happen?
No, you've claimed that there's a ghost up here, but I do not have a ghost.
I'm 100% sure.
Come here.
Oh, that was Kris. That wasn't the cat, by the way.
Get out of the box. Get out of the box.
Kris sounds like a literal cartoon character. Like a sitcom from the 1950s. Are we in I Love Lucy? What is that voice?
I was so dedicated to getting the cat out of here that I interrupted the cat mid litter box and made it leave.
Speaking about embarrassing, I think that's the most embarrassing thing is going in the bathroom and having someone open the door on you. That is
very embarrassing. Okay, all right. So it's first place of the most embarrassing things that can happen to you, pooping and getting caught. Is it pooping or is it just peeing?
I think pooping, because peeing has happened to me a lot. I like women be opening up doors and then they'd be like, "Oh, can I hang out with you while you pee?" Like I've literally peed in front of all of my girlfriends. It's fine. But number two, no.
Number two is that's the shameful one.
So full of shame. It's so shameful.
I don't know if the cat was number one or number twoing. I didn't really think to ask. Is that rude?
I think it's so rude. I wait, so you made it leave in the middle of its process?
Well, I don't know where it was in the process. It's a dark room. I don't leave that light on for the cat.
You literally, when you shouted, you sounded like a vaudevillian performance. Like, "Get out of here. Oh, yeah, get out."
There's a world where I could cover up and say that I did it because I knew the audio was recording. But the truth is that any actual outburst of emotion I do in my home is met with a bit voice in some way.
And speaking of a bit voice, I had asked you for a fucking word, and you have decided to ignore me.
Can I Have a Word is a show where we have a conversation based on a word that is picked by a random word generator online. Joanna's asked for it, so I shall give it. The word is garbage. Get to it.
I'm crying. Oh my
God.
Garbage.
First things first. Yucky, stinky stuff.
Me no likey.
You don't like the garbage. Is this a job that your husband does?
I tend to throw the garbage away. But I grew up in a household where my mother throws out garbage almost like an impulsive compulsion.
Oh, like after every meal, the garbage gets out.
And in the Berkshires, where she spends most of her time, the trash man only passes by once a week. So she drives to a hotel and for the past 7 years has been throwing our trash into this hotel's trash can. And I swear to God, one day the Massachusetts police is going to knock on my mom's door and give her a fine for $10,000. Because I think, like, it was in the middle of the pandemic and we were there. There was people were not allowed to be in that hotel, and my mom was throwing all her garbage.
I'm very proud of you for blowing up your mom's spot immediately on this podcast. For a person who is very adverse to having the garbage around in the house, it sure does seem like she has to have it in her car with her a lot.
Sometimes she'll be like, can you please throw away the trash, Joanna? And I'll be like, yeah, for sure. And then I forget. I drive to the supermarket. I do my things. I go back home. The next day, she goes into, I'm like, you should learn your lesson. Don't ask other people to do what only you want. I am not, and it's just awful. Honestly, it's the most illegal thing.
You're just gonna accidentally leave it. I know you well enough. She should know you well enough to know. You're just gonna leave it in that
She
trunk.
gave birth to me, and she's like, you know what? I trust you to remember to throw this trash away. Are you insane? Like, you know what? It's her fault. One of my mom's cars, a Subaru, it started smelling really, really weird. And my mom was like, someone left the garbage somewhere. Maybe it's like, it was left for too long, but it kept on getting worse and worse. And so my mom was like, again, asking my dad for a favor that she should do because she should know that my dad isn't the best at this. She's like, go have the car washed. I think we've been throwing away our trash and like putting our trash bags in this bag in this car for too long.
How dare we not have a trash car? We have one car in the fleet that is to take the garbage
Just
down to the
trash.
county depot or the hotel, as you've now shamed her into admitting.
Oh my God. Watch her go to jail for this. Okay. So my dad's cleaning the car and he's like, I don't see any trash. It's this weird. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to open where the spare tire is, which is kind of like in the trunk. You like lift the floor of the trunk sort of. And that's usually where the spare. He's like, I'm just going to open it and whatever. He opens it. And he sees like a weird white mold and a plastic bag. And he opens it and it's a dead dove. Okay, wait. Now I want to. Okay, that's shocking, right?
Yes.
The way my mom tells me this is, ay, mira, chica, tú sabes que your dad was washing the car and he found a dead dove in a plastic bag wrapped under the floor of the trunk. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, that's not only crazy, that's scary.
Yeah, that's a haunting.
That is some brujeria shit, Santería. That's a spell. And she's like, no, I don't think so. I think that maybe because you forgot to throw away the trash one day, maybe a dove flew in. And I'm like, and opened the floor of the trunk?
Packed itself in a bag as if it was camping in a sleeping bag. No, your mom killed a dove and then she hid it in the garbage bag.
No, I don't think that's what it is.
I need any other explanation.
I think they parked their car in Boston and I think they left the door open. And I think someone thought it would be funny or knew it was my parents' car and like, you know, because they're politically active and like, you know, they speak openly about their opinions against the dictatorship in Venezuela. I think maybe someone like did something.
Your logic is that some pro-Maduro politician who brought a dead dove to a Subaru in order to make a stand.
Did I say it was a good theory? It's the only one I got.
Just to make it very, very clear, that's a stupid fucking theory.
But then what other theory? It literally, okay. Then it
I
goes.
buy the idea of the door was open. Your parents, well, at least one of them seems forgetful enough that a door could be left open. And that maybe it wasn't a dove, maybe it was a pigeon, and the pigeon got in there, got trapped and died.
In a plastic bag under the floor?
That part, now that's the unsolved mystery part. This is still my pitch for a better theory. I do think that your mom killed a bird and then tried to hide it in the trash bag.
No, I don't think she did. She has killed bats, but I don't think she'd kill a bird. She drowned a bat with a hose, and it traumatized me.
Bats are nature's garbage.
Well, pigeons are the air's rats. I think garbage is interesting. I think it's like kind of like death in the sense that we don't really talk about it. I don't think about garbage very often. I don't even, when I throw trash in the chute, I'm like, I forget. It's like, it's gone. But there's this whole process and like infrastructure and architecture around the disposable garbage that like no one talks about, no one really knows about. It's a mystery to me. And it's like, sometimes I'll like throw away, I don't know, like a little notebook. And I'm like, where is that notebook? now? Is it in a landfill?
That feels like a short film that I watched in elementary school. That was like, whatever you flush makes it all the way down to the sewage, into the treatment center. Do you need an adult version of that?
Well, I do, but like everything from like sewage and garbage, it's like this unspoken, explored, like no one. Yes, in elementary school, I went to like a garbage facility and I was like, why the fuck are we here? But like,
that is a very funny thing to take third graders to or something.
I was like, what the fuck is this for? And they were like, so you know where your garbage goes? And I'm like, I'm 8.
Yeah. I'm not worried about civil engineering.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
It's true that we don't talk about our infrastructure. We don't talk about where the poop goes.
We don't. And the way that we've been able to figure out our garbage is the only reason we have been able to create the society we've created. Like, the only reason we are at the healthiest we've ever been in history, that we have like functioning cities, is all because I think at the core, we figured out what to do with garbage.
And yet you don't know. And I don't know.
What happens?
We get to live a blissful ignorance. The best I can tell you is that I know of places that used to be dumps because they are where there are abnormally round hills. And that's where they, grow grass over the garbage when they said, we can't put any more garbage here.
Oh, ew. Oh, ew. Wait.
Are you not familiar with this?
Are there houses that are built on top of trash?
No. Not houses, but you'll see like, if you're driving down interstates or if you're in the middle America, like along county roads, there will be plots of land that are left out to be a dump, essentially. But when a dump has met its quota of how much garbage it can hold, they typically grow grass, and it's just this big hill that exists forever. They can't really build on it, but it like helps reduce smell and allows it to break down. And I guess I know some things about garbage.
I love the idea of like 10,000 years in the future after that horrible volcano explodes. And so like Earth has to start from scratch again. And then like a new species takes over the planet. And then they have their own form of, what's it called? The people that go into the earth to find dinosaurs?
Archaeologists?
Archaeologist. Wow. Okay.
Today is a lot of Joanna not having a word.
Bro, I'm actually concerned. Parenthesis, I think I might have like early onset dementia. I'm not remembering words. I forgot the word for procrastinate today.
Joanna.
And that's 70% of my personality. And I forgot the word for it.
This show is going to be less of like a public entertainment forum and more of a way for you to document to a doctor later on how much your mental capacities are waning.
I'm so scared. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so archaeologists in the future are just going through our trash, but then they assume incorrectly the things that they find. They look at a spatula, like a Bed Bath & Beyond spatula, and they're like, this was likely used as a torture device to spank children. Or you know what I mean? Like,
it was customary for the male to use the tampon dispenser as a method of courtship.
Actually, I wish.
How would that work? I want vivid details as to how that would work.
Just like, you don't have to ask. You just receive tampons sometimes. Like buying a bouquet of tampons.
Oh. I thought it would be funny to be like the way that you ask out on a date is to like plume a bunch of them out of the applicator.
No, that's wasteful. That's wasteful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then how would these archaeologists find it later on?
Yeah, that's what we need to really worry about. But anyway, okay,
we've got a fucking hour.
I love how much in true crime garbage becomes like the hero. And I think that's the only genre where garbage gets a good rap.
Right. If you see any narrative of a private eye, first thing they do is examine the house. And then before you know it, it's like cut to the dumpster and they're digging through looking for mail.
Yeah.
Or looking for any evidence that gave you a clue.
And for years, I would never like shred my stuff before throwing it in the trash.
Like how sensitive of stuff are you leaving?
Like literally IRS stuff. And I'll just like throw it away.
Oh, Joanna.
I am shocked that no one's taken my identity yet. There's just some dumb criminals out there because I left them almost like a step-by-step how-to steal my identity.
I had a panic attack when I realized I couldn't find my social security card.
Oh, my social security card was stolen. My wallet, my whole wallet with my social security card, all my credit cards, my IDs, my Venezuelan ID, all of it was stolen by a drunk woman at a bar in Boston when I was 22. And then I woke up the next morning. I should have canceled the cards. This woman had gone to the Burlington coat factory and spent $3,000 on coats. Wow. And then went to Subway, the sandwich place, and spent $250 in Subway.
All right, that had to be a gift card because there's no world.
I think she bought the franchise. She bought the whole franchise for $250.
Wait, why did you have your social security card on you? That's like a thing you put in like a fire safe.
Because my logic was I'm a girl out of college and I'm moving around all the time and I should always keep everything I need and all my important documents on me at all times. That was my God.
That is such a recipe for a Joanna disaster. You shouldn't keep anything. Well, at least in your younger years. You're much more mature now.
I got a detective assigned to me for this case. I love Boston. They were like, and this detective talked like this, and he was like, all right, Joanna, we are going to go to that Burlington coat factory where you said that the lady shopped at. We actually took a look at the security footage, but they remove it after 72 hours. So we weren't able to identify her. We went to the subway. We were able to see some video, but unfortunately, we weren't able to ID her. And then he was like, but I will say is what's likely to have happened is that she took the credit cards and threw your wallet in the trash.
Right.
So I went and like looked around the trash cans. But it had already been 3 days. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
3 days later, you were just desperate. You were like, all of my life is in this wallet right now. I've got to go find it. Let's pull out a trash can and get to work.
I didn't find it, but I did rummage through trash cans. I wouldn't recommend it.
You ever met someone who does the dumpster diving for groceries? They like go to the back of grocery stores and try to grab the food that's like, admittedly tossed out a little too soon.
Yeah.
I always appreciated the mentality of like reducing waste, but I can't shake the stigma enough to ever commit to it myself.
I respect it. I don't think I do it because I did basically dumpster dive once, other than this one time.
Wait. I'm sorry. So two times now we've done.
No, there's this another time.
I'm surprised at how many garbage stories you're giving me, by the way.
Bro, I am shocked. I forgot about Okay.
Garbage dive number 2.
I did inherit something from my mother, which is like, I love throwing things away. I don't like clutter. I don't like keeping little pieces of paper. I just like throw shit away.
Okay.
And I had just come back from my honeymoon. Oh God. We had opened a bunch of cards that had checks and cash in them.
Yeah, it's customary to give cash or check as a wedding gift.
Cash or check. And it was like, oh my God, this is great. This money's going to help us a lot. 20 minutes pass. And then Daniel is like, hey, so where are the checks and the cash? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I mean, aren't they there? And he's like, no. And he was like, did you just go to the trash? And I was like, yeah, I threw away some of the trash I saw around the house. And he's like, you threw away the stack of cash and fucking checks, Joanna. And this was right after our honeymoon. And I really think that this was the lowest point in our relationship. I saw his face and he was like, did I marry a fucking idiot? He was like, are you my ruin?
Just to be clear, you were in an apartment building, meaning that you had a garbage chute that you threw it down, right?
Yes, a chute. A chute that 500 other apartments use.
It's a communal place that you drop off your garbage and it goes to who knows where. Speaking of not knowing where our garbage goes, I don't know where the fuck to find it in an apartment building.
Now I know. And it is ugly. Okay? I go downstairs panicking. And thank God I'm very good friends with the staff in my building. One of the sort of handyman of the building is like, all right, let's go to the trash room. And we walk down this very long hallway.
Yeah.
And he opens the door to a room that I can only describe as like the sphincter of the devil. Like it is literally like hot and steamy and just trash. And he's like, let's start looking. And I'm like, so does this compartmentalize trash? He's like, absolutely not. It's just in a huge hill. Like it's just a hill of trash.
Oh my
and
God.
We start literally physically going through trash and opening bags as more trash is falling on us. Where
of course, the machine keeps on moving.
Bro, I was like crying. I was crying because I was like, this might end in divorce if I don't find this fucking money. And then he lifts up a bag and the bag is like my disgusting sushi takeout. The soy sauce is like all over, but he finds the checks and the cash and he hands it all to me. And I grab like $150 in cash and I'm like, here you go, bro. And he's like, I can't take it. And I'm like, you better take it. And then I look and he's like, and we never speak of this. We never speak of this.
You look me in the eyes.
I run upstairs. I like give it to Daniel, whatever. And he was like, oh my God, you found it. I thought that was lost forever. And then I remember I said, next time you come down with me and you sift through the trash with me because you're no longer my boyfriend. You're my husband. So this is and I turned it and I flipped it on him. I flipped it on him.
I made this a power grab.
Yeah, I did. But you know, just a really quick third story about trash.
God damn it.
This will be quick. This will be quick.
No, it's fine.
So insane.
Steamroll it. I don't know how you have this many garbage stories.
It's the first Christmas I spent with my boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband, Daniel, and my whole family. And we do Secret Santa. And I get my boyfriend a beautiful cardigan sweater that I spent way too much money on. I make him like a little booklet with all of our pictures. I like get a wine stopper engraved with his initials. Like I went all out.
An engraved wine stopper?
I was 25 and was like, what do fancy people get?
That's a fucking ballpark swing.
A cashmere sweater and a wine stopper. I was trying, man. I knew he was fancier than me. I was trying to impress.
You were like, I see a future with you. Let me give you a Father's Day gift.
You know, he's like a classy man, and I exclusively wore sneakers and didn't own a purse until I was 34. So I had to, go overtime. So then anyway, I was really proud of this. Like I worked really hard. I'd spent a lot of money on these gifts. The night progresses and we're ready to leave. And just for context, every time someone opened a fucking gift, my mom, like literally a programmed robot, would take all of the wrapping and run out and throw it away through the trash chute.
She's just like a human Roomba zipping on around trying to grab the wrapping every time it hits the floor.
Like a fucking human Roomba. A psychopathic human Roomba. And I'm ready to leave and I'm like, Daniel, where's your bag of gifts? And he's like, it was right here. And I was like, Mom. And she's like, I didn't touch it. We looked everywhere in the apartment. And she's like, I don't know. I didn't throw it away. I know it wasn't me. That was 10 years ago. I know it was her. And she has never apologized. She has never said it was her. I went downstairs and I was like, bro, can I please sift through the trash and find these gifts? But that building had a trash compactor.
Ah, so they were already dead on arrival.
Honestly, if you're going to commit a murder, throw a body down a trash compactor because it was gone.
Murder was 2 episodes ago. We don't have to keep revisiting how good of murderers we would be.
Murder, She Wrote.
I just want to say, plain and simple, your mom threw away a dead dove.
You really think it was my mom? But why would she do that?
I'm just saying that she's lying about the gifts and she won't admit it. Just like she's like, I don't know. It must have been political protests that this dove ended up there. No, this is what happened. Your mom's sitting enjoying a nice cup of tea in the afternoon and a bird went flying through the window and nailed the window on the porch. Yeah. And she was just like, I'm going to throw away that bird. I don't have a bigger climax for you. She just threw away a bird.
No, but okay, let's say that happened. Then my mom puts it in the trunk of the car because she's going to go throw it away. But then my dad takes the car, sees that there's trash there, and is like, oh my God, Ana Julia's going to kill me for not throwing away the trash. I'm going to hide it so that I don't get in trouble. And then everyone forgot.
So you think...
Or it was someone wanting to cast a Santería spell. So there is like, birds are very important in Santería. And so I don't know. Another theory would be that it was Santería.
I think for that theory to have legs, there would have to be a practicing neighbor or someone that your mom pissed off. Is she friendly in the building?
I'd say 99% of people love my mom. And then 1%
fucking hate your mom.
like they hate it. Like we have a neighbor in the Berkshires that called the cops on us for having a party, and my mom went up and knocked on her door and like berated her and was like, if you call the police one more time on me, I'm gonna come and you're not gonna be happy, my dear neighbor. So they hate each other.
My dear neighbor. What a strong PTA mom.
Verbatim said, my dear neighbor. I'll never forget it.
So fucking funny.
So I don't think it's impossible. Whatever. I don't know. Or maybe it was you.
Okay. All right. Work with that theory. This happened when?
I think you put this bird in my parents' trunk when you came to the Berkshires during the pandemic years ago. And you were going a little stir crazy, a little cabin crazy.
And I just thought it was a cutesy little prank.
No, because what you wanted is to one day have a podcast with me. And one day that podcast would have the conceit of having a random word generator generate a word. And that word in one day would be garbage. And I would tell all my garbage stories, which you somehow knew. And this would come up as a joke.
It was predestined to reach this place due to my own manipulative ways.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Wrap it up. Here's our fucking show.
What was this show? What the fuck was this show?
It ended at 8 episodes.
Worth it.
You talk about like throwing a lot of things away. I agree with that sentiment. I like to get rid of clutter. I like to get rid of, you wouldn't look notice it with my background. But I used to live a life that was far more minimalist, and I just didn't like having excess stuff. But that means that I'm not very good at thinking about how to just make something work. Like, I don't know, you see people like get items on free groups all the time that it's like, here's this bookshelf we're getting rid of. It's totally free. Needs like half of it repaired. I can just look at that and I'm like, I can't be bothered.
Thank you for saying that, because I felt guilty because I am not good at repurposing. I don't know how. I can't. I barely get my own work done. You know what I mean? Like, I have a friend. She's actually at my house right now. She goes to Goodwill for hours and hours and hours and like picks out, like goes through actual garbage. I always like give a bunch of stuff to Goodwill. I bought stuff at Goodwill. It's kind of like a little garbage. It's like a garbage where there might be treasure.
I feel like when I give stuff to Goodwill, I'm like, I'm putting some like good stuff that'll go to a good home. I can't wait. And then if I ever walk into my local Goodwill, it is just piles of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I put in good things. I should get good things back.
Especially here in Los Angeles, there is a huge culture of thrifting.
Yeah.
Which I think is really great for the environment. And I look up to people. I go to a thrift store and I have a fucking panic attack. First of all, not organized. I'm like, what is happening? Everything smells like a person.
You're going to get some old closet smell.
A smell of people. And it's a mess. And then like half of this, I'm like, I know someone died and someone dropped off all their stuff here. This friend of mine literally spends hours sifting through every little fucking thing. And she finds these things like, oh, I got this for $3. I'm selling it on eBay for $400 because it's an unused like Dolce & Gabbana dress. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't like it.
That is like some thrill of the hunt shit where you have to have an obsessive desire to find the thing. And at that point, it isn't, oh, I just need a couple of shirts. You're like, I need to find something that wakes me up in the morning.
Yeah.
I need something here that just gets me hot and bothered. I need to spend 5 hours going through a dirty retail spot to find expensive pants.
Yes, a leather jacket.
Yeah, and they do. And that's the other thing is that like I've tried, before to be like, oh, cool, I'll go to like a thrift shop and see what I can find. And anything I ever pick never ends up being something that I can actually wear. I think it's because I have no taste.
It's not that you don't have no taste.
You once said that I dress like I look like a picnic basket. So
you do look like a picnic table half the time. But here's what I'll say, because I'm very similar. My personality is a lot. I don't need clothes to like give me a personality. So I don't need a whole story behind my shirt.
Yeah, you've never worn a sweater that just shouts, I'm a Sesame Street monster.
Literally, no one has ever stopped me in the street and said, holy shit, what is this outfit? It's amazing. People have stopped me in the street and said, where did you get this very sensible blazer? It's not that you have bad taste. It's that you know what you like and you don't really like to spend a lot of time on your clothes. I don't either. The art of the thrift store is finding stuff that's unique and that no one else has. And I don't care if other people have my shit.
Right. But you are like impressed when somebody can pull it off well, no? I mean, it's a very impressive
Oh my
skill.
God, it's amazing.
I'm constantly impressed with people that like, oh, I had these like wooden pallets and I made a beautiful couch out of it. And it has this like shabby chic aesthetic that just screams you did more art classes than I did.
I find those people remarkable and interesting. I just know I will never be one of those people.
That's good. That's good. That's healthy, though. That's healthy to not compare yourself to something that you're not even going to be capable of reaching.
I'm trying to think of anything I'm handy in.
Tell me a thing you've fixed. That's a long silence, folks. I didn't edit that out.
I've hung a painting, which I don't think is a fix.
No, that's the application of the art.
Bro, I don't know what it is. It's so fucked. But when something breaks, like Daniel has the same shoes from college and he just like fixes them. He like takes care of them. And I'll be like, oh no, this has a rip in it. I can't sew this. Like
bye.
And it's so bad. It's like, I have to be better at fixing things.
I didn't mean for this to be a come to Jesus moment for you.
I'm a Jew. I don't know what you mean by come to Jesus. He left us.
Sorry. I clearly messed that one up. I don't think I'm that handy.
You like do stuff.
I know how to mow my yard.
I feel like you've made a bookshelf.
I have built the IKEA bookshelf. I don't know. I've followed instructions. I don't know that I've ever gone on like a journey or had a vision about something that I could assemble together starting with nothing. I'm not that impressive.
Neither am I.
No.
But you know what I do like buying? I like antiques. I like items for the house.
Yeah.
They feel a little less gross to me than clothing. Like a cool plate, a plate from the 1920s.
Right.
Like, oh my God, what a beautiful 1920s plate. This plate didn't know what the Great Depression was.
I think my barrier has to do with whether it's fabric or it's solid. If it's a fabric thing, I'm a little disgusted.
Thank you for saying it. Someone had to. You know what's
Multiple times today, you have let me know that I'm doing God's work here.
You really are. You know what's funny is right before recording, my trash can was like almost full and I was about to throw it away and I was like, no. So I like lifted it out of the can and it's like brimming to the top.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave this out. So I remember to throw the trash away. Do you think that's a coincidence?
Oh, do you think that this is your guilt coming back to haunt you that you didn't just do the simple task of taking the trash out?
Like the world was like, you should have thrown your trash away. And maybe here's the thing. I'm afraid to throw trash because of the multitude of times that throwing trash away has gone awry in my life. And there's a hesitancy coming from me because I'm insecure. I'm insecure about the way I throw trash away.
I'll admit you've had multiple crises surrounding the act of getting rid of the garbage. That said, I just think you're lazy.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank God. I thank God.
Would you imagine? Couldn't it be so much worse if like garbage was just like a traumatic thing to you?
It's interesting how I got used to the smell of garbage living in New York because there's no alleyways in New York.
Oh, it is disgusting, especially in the summer when the heat is just baking. Like I always refer to it as Manhattan musk.
It's Manhattan musk, and living in New York for so long, I didn't realize that is rare. Like a city with no alleys is like a psychotic concept. Like
it's absolutely insane.
There's a reason they're alleyways, and it's to be able to throw your trash away and have it not. And it's one of the reasons why rats are such a big issue in the city and all of this stuff. But I was so used to it, like these piles and piles and piles of trash that would show up every week, and you just like have to walk around it. I didn't realize that no other city was like that.
But even just like the idea that Manhattan's garbage is bagged up and put on cement is an upgrade from the times that New York was far filthier. This city started as a place with dirt roads where horses shit in it all the time while people just walked about their day. Like, this is still an improvement. They just didn't have it in their heads to imagine so much of a better world than to have alleys.
I love that they tried to fix the issue of the alleys by creating this particular type of trash can in the city.
Oh, that was like a pneumonic tube thing?
What?
Pneumonic tubes where
pneumonic tube?
I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, but it's the tubes like at a bank when you go to a bank drive-through, the thing that like zips up the canister.
Oh, like a Blue Man Group tube?
A Blue Man? No, that's PVC piping. Those are just pipes. I thought that there was a point in time where there was a pitch for New York to just have like vacuuming tubes that you threw your garbage in and it all just tubed it to a central place. But that's not what you're talking about, it sounds like. You're talking about just some fancy garbage cans?
That sounds like a great idea that would never work. Like there'd be like 17 people thrown into these tubes like every year.
Right.
Another idea they had for the city was, well, they did do this, which is, I think it was during the 70s and 80s. It might be the 80s. There were all these beautiful historical buildings, including Penn Station. And they were like, this is garbage. This beautiful building is garbage. We need to make brutalist, horrendous McDonald's from the 90s looking structures instead. They kept on destroying these like beautiful historic buildings, and they had to create a commission to like protect these historic buildings because these motherfuckers were just like, no.
That is an interesting way to think about like our perception of what is garbage to us at what point in time. How old does something have to be to where it stops being garbage or just disposable and instead becomes worth saving and protecting?
Right. Like you walk through Paris and it's old as fuck, but everything looks incredible. But I'm sure there was a time where people would go to Paris and be like, oh my God, this is so passé. Like if I went to Phoenix, Arizona, I went to a strip mall, I'd be like, please, like you need to bulldoze this fucking strip mall.
Yeah, this is all flat lines.
I do think that LA is a city, its history and its most historical like buildings and stuff are not old enough for us to consider it special or beautiful. So it just looks like trash.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I think the most beautiful, architecturally speaking, area of LA is downtown.
Oh, it's gorgeous. There's beautiful theaters.
A lot of like 1920s like deco build, but it is the dumpiest place in the city.
It's all like abandoned and no one
It's
gives
all
a fuck
abandoned,
about
and,
them.
you know, economically depressed. It's all miserable over there. But that is like where the most beautiful stuff is. No, LA is a great example of a place that always is thinking about what is the modern execution of something and does not really hold on to much of the old.
No, it's always looking at the new. And I think it's because of its history. This is a industry town, an industry of the entertainment industry. And it's like, what's the new movie? What's the new show? Who's the new hot star?
Yeah.
It's not an industry of the past. It's an industry of always looking forward. So I don't think it's surprising. But damn, there's just like a lot of horrendous trash buildings here.
What is one thing you need to get rid of, but you haven't gotten rid of yet? I put on my therapy voice a little bit.
I have a bag next to my bed, and it is full of socks that I haven't figured out where the other sock is. It is the ugliest thing in my apartment. It is horrendous. I need to take it and like throw it away, but I can't bring myself because I am convinced I will find the other socks.
I will get my shit together and find this stuff.
And my friends are like, why don't you get a nice basket? Why don't you get like a nice little like drawer? Why don't you get? And I'm like, no. It needs to be a little ugly bag because I need to feel the shame.
I have it. Mine is much more like small and insignificant. I buy a lot of collared shirts that have like collar little pieces that keep the collar straight. The little like I don't know what they're called.
Those little plastic things.
And you have to take them out every time you wash it. And I'm like, well, certainly I'll keep track of which one goes to which shirt and it'll be fine. And what it actually means is that I have a pile of 50 of these stupid fucking white collar piece things in my sock drawer, just like loose and about. I haven't put it in a bin. I haven't bagged it. It's just loose. I look like a murderer when you open this thing.
What do you think murderers are using these plastic things to like stab people?
No,
like, what do you mean a murderer?
I guess I just think of murderers as like dirty. I don't know. I think of it as like dirty.
No, the good ones are very clean.
Well, that's okay. All right. Well, I wouldn't be a good one then.
Thank God.
I don't know. This little like collar thing feels like a point of adulthood. Like I suppose, like I don't know. I don't own cufflinks, but I imagine if I had loose cufflinks laying around, it would be the same sort of thing where it's like I should really be more responsible. This is like a thing that grown-ups handle, and I have it just loose and everywhere.
I feel like it's so hard. You take care of the big things like, okay, I have a credit card, I have a job, I have to do this, I got to do that. Car insurance, I got to learn how to drive. I have to be a responsible driver. I need to, call my parents. I need to make sure I'm a good friend. And then it's like, then there's fucking socks. And I'm like, you're going to tell me I also have to be good at keeping my fucking socks together? Are you insane? I refuse to feel shame. That little plastic, it's right over there. That little
Bring
bag,
it out.
little
Bring
bag.
it out.
I'm gonna
Bring it out. Bring me the bag. The bag feels like it's winking at you.
It's all fucking socks. I have literally socks.
Wow.
Handfuls of socks.
If this was quarantine, you would have made like a sock puppet show.
I should. Oh, what's here?
Uh-oh. This is where we find all the other socks.
Oh, these are shirts. These are shirts. Oh God. You know what? Let's just forget it. Let's just forget.
Can you do me a favor right now?
I'm scared. What?
Can you take a deep breath and go throw away the socks?
No, I can't. I can't do it. I cannot.
Joanna?
I can't.
I'm giving you courage. I'm giving you my strength. Go throw away the socks.
Wait, let me go through some of them.
Joanna, hold my hand. Hold my hand. Cyber, hold my hand. It's time to throw away the socks. No, don't fucking middle finger.
Okay, fine. Fine. I think you're right.
I think it's time.
You think it's time to say goodbye to this?
I think it's time to get off this podcast, and I just needed a good ending.
There's a cable! Okay, I'm gonna throw away these socks. Don't worry.